And to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone our dear guest, Dr. Ayman Ghoniem, the economic expert from the United Arab Emirates. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, madam. How do you do?
Dr. Ayman, how do you see the importance of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi's meeting yesterday, as he stressed on the importance of prioritizing the debt reduction and easing debt service burdens?
Well, actually, the meeting conducted between the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance, Mr. Ahmed Kojo, has a lot of significant points. The primary point, in my opinion, is that it stressed on the President's guidance and instructions to maintain the fiscal discipline of the state. We all know that Egypt was able to reduce its fiscal deficit from 13.9% of the GDP in 2013 to presently 6 to 7%. And more importantly, now the budget is able to generate primary surplus. And primary surplus means that the revenues minus expenses, regardless of the interest expense, regardless of the debt service, is a positive number.
Yes.
In 2025, in the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025, Egypt was able to generate around 3.6% of the GDP as primary surplus. And therefore, this would enable the country to put its debt on a reducing path, and therefore reducing the burden from the present generation and the future generations regarding the debt services.
Yes.
The point of the fiscal discipline, actually, it has a lot of aspects and a lot of sides. First of all, as we said, it allows the country to reduce its debt. It also allows the reduction of the debt service, and it enables the country to increase its spending on the social welfare. We know that in the present year, or in the previous year actually, that ended June 30th, 2025, Egypt was able to increase its spending on the social welfare from a total of 529 billion in the previous year that ended June 30th, 2024, to around 636 billion Egyptian pounds in that year that ended June 30th, 2025. And this helped to reduce and to mitigate the effects of the increasing inflation, which is, of course, a worldwide phenomenon.
Yes. Doctor, how do you evaluate the key highlights of Egypt's draft state budget for the fiscal year 2025-2026 compared to the previous year?
Well, actually, the major component in the fiscal reform relies on the tax reforms that were undertaken by the Egyptian state this year. According to laws number 5, 6, and 7 of the year 2025, first of all, increasing the confidence between the taxpayers and the state, allowing a lot of reconciliations and a lot of settlements of tax disputes, building trust and confidence between the two parties, and also providing for a more simplified system for the small companies whose annual sales are less than 20 million Egyptian pounds, giving them a tax rate that depends on their annual sales and not on their profitability, putting a certain cap on the fines, on the tax fines, which is equal to 100% of the principal, because in the previous periods, the incremental tax fines and incremental fines due to late payment of taxes sometimes exceeded the original tax principle, and in many businesses they had to pay 2 to 3 times of the amount of the principal tax payments or tax dues as fines.
Yes.
Of course, we have to give credit to the new finance minister, Mr. Ahmed Kojo, because he comes from the Ministry of Finance, and he comes from the field itself, you know, the problems of the tax community. And the laws number 5, 6, and 7 of the year 2025, they came tailored to solve many of these problems, and most importantly also to encourage the people who operate in the informal sector in the economy to get registered with the Egyptian Taxation Authority, and hence
Yes.
to start operating in the formal sector.
Yes. How did or what are the steps, Dr. Ayman, that Egypt have achieved a primary surplus of Egypt to 629 billion in the fiscal year 2025-2024, despite the external challenges?
Well, as you mentioned, Madam, that there were many external challenges, including, of course, the reduction in the revenues of Suez Canal by around 60%, and this was because of the geopolitical problems in the Middle East region. There were also many problems regarding the geopolitical risks and the fear of many foreign investors to come into the region. But we have to mention that the Egyptian fiscal reforms and economic reforms, actually, they are conducted on solid basis, and these solid bases include, as we said, the tax reforms, which increase the tax revenues by around 35%. Also, we noticed the rationalization of the governmental spending. Actually, as we mentioned, the government increased its social welfare spending by around 20%, but that spending was rationalized, meaning that the government undertook serious steps in order to ensure that the subsidies, whether cash subsidies or material subsidies,
yes,
they reach to those who deserve them. Also, there were a lot of steps undertaken to encourage the exports, and here we have to remember the diplomatic efforts are undertaken by the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and the government, building strategic partnerships with many foreign states, especially, of course, European states, along with the strong ties with the BRICS and including Russia, China, India. Also encouraging the export to the western part, the United States and North America. So increasing the export, of course, it played an important role in boosting the revenues. And the steps undertaken to encourage the investments affecting the law number 72 of the year 2017. All these steps, like increasing the granting of golden licenses, granting a lot of incentives to the foreign investors to come, solving their problems. So all these efforts, in an accumulative way, led to the increase in the budget revenues, in the revenue part. And as we said, the expenses part, of course, it increased, but it increased in a rationalized way, maintaining the fiscal discipline of the state.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your valuable information from the United Arab Emirates through the Zoom application. We had with us Dr. Ayman Ghoniem, the economic expert. Thank you very much for joining us over the phone. Ladies and gentlemen, short break, and I'm going to be back with you.